What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm doing my first ever preview of a Steelers game. Of course, I do predictions every week in the NFL, but I'm going to be doing a preview just focusing mainly on the Steelers games from now on. That's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to keep this a little bit unbiased too. Of course, I'm a little biased in the predictions. I've been biased. I'm biased in my podcast, my live streams, but with these previews, I really want to break it down. Okay, I'll try to not show a lot of bias towards the Steelers, but there will be some. So just be prepared for that. But anyway, we're breaking down the Steelers versus Patriots. It's in Pittsburgh, 1 o'clock game this Sunday, week 2. Steelers coming off the win from Cincinnati, and then Patriots coming off the 20-7 loss to the Miami Dolphins in Miami. This is, of course, still going to be a very good game. Two high-powered defenses, but the offenses are what lacks. So let's get into this video. Starting with the visiting team. So I'll always start with the visiting team in this previews, but of course they have Mac Jones at quarterback. Last year was a rookie. Okay, probably the best rookie quarterback last year. Made the Pro Bowl. Last week's game, he had 213 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Was 21 for 30. Didn't play terrible, but didn't play too good. Okay, Mitch Trubisky, the Steelers quarterback, on the other hand, threw for 194 yards and a touchdown with 21 and 38. He did make some pretty bad decisions. Now, I can't really overall commentate on how the Patriots did against the Dolphins, as I did not watch much of that game. I can really comment, how the Dolphins did, not so much the Patriots. However, I know Mac Jones did get stripped. Strip fumble. They ended up scoring off his offensive line, of course, did not help. Rushing yards, Patriots didn't have a single player who ran over 50 yards. Damian Harris had 9 carries, 48 yards. And going back to the quarterback situation, Mitch Trubisky last week made a lot of bad decisions. Of course, now our offensive line was pretty bad. They were not giving him a lot of time. He was rushing throws. So he wasn't looking that good, though. Najee Harris was not getting anything going. Our running game was not that good either. Of course, Najee Harris is supposed to be one of the best running backs in the league. That's not to take away from him. But offensive line, though, anybody who watched that game would know offensive line was not helping us at all. Mac Jones, however, he's leading that offense. Probably their best offensive player. But the Patriots offense really isn't that good. Their receivers aren't that good. They of course have Jacoby Myers. They have Devontae Parker. But really, they don't have many options. Hunter Henry, he can score a lot of touchdowns, but not really so much on yards. Like I said, the offense is young still, of course, but not really solid. So I can definitely see our defense outmatching the Patriots offense. But then, of course, the Steelers defense the Patriots defense could also outmatch the Steelers offense. And even though the Steelers offense has much more talent, that offensive line is terrible. Absolutely terrible. So unless we get the offensive line going, I really don't see the Steelers doing a lot. I really don't see this being a high-scoring game either way, really. Like I said, the Steelers have more weapons, more offensive weapons than the Patriots do. However, like I said, that line's going to really slow them down. Looking at the running game, though, like I said, Patriots do have Damian Harris in the backfield. While the Steelers have, of course, Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, who had himself a pretty big game, I'd say, last week. A lot of blocking that he was doing. Not really statistical wise, but his blocking was really what, stood out. Okay, he had only 3 carries for 7 yards, while Najee Harris had 10 carries for 23 yards. But anyway, going back to Jaylen Warren, his blocking was on point. Chase Claypool was our leading rusher last week. 6 carries, 36 yards. He had a lot of end arounds. But of course, that rushing game, we only had 75 total rushing yards. So of course, proving that our offensive line is bad. And last year and the year before, our running game was really weak too. Our running game in the NFL is one of the lowest in the NFL. And that can't happen. You gotta have a good run game. You gotta be able to space it out. You gotta be able to, keep your defense off the field. And we can't figure that out yet. We really haven't figured that out since Le'Veon Bell, if I'm being honest. The Patriots, looking at their box score from last week on the ground, they're the same way. They only had 78 rushing yards. Damian Harris, 48 yards. I keep saying Damian Harris. Stevenson, 25 yards on 8 carries. So 2 teams that are lacking the running game, and not really so much running backs, just the running game from last week, though, of course. Only 1 week to judge off of. Receiving now, big names, didn't really pop out much. Diontae Johnson had a great catch, ended the game against the Bengals, a great one-handed catch on the sideline. But our leading receiver was Pat Freiermuth with 5 receptions, 75 yards. Looking at the Patriots, Jacoby Myers, 55 yards, 4 receptions. So basically, the receiving and running game for both the Steelers and Patriots from last week were about the same. They were not getting it going. However, of course, the Steelers ended up winning. However, I mean, they played sloppy. Everybody knew that. If our defense didn't put us in that game, we wouldn't even got 20 points. Easily. Obviously not 20 points because 6 of those came from Nick Fitzpatrick having a pick 6. But looking at some injuries going to this game, Mason Cole is questionable. He was our center who went down. I think he had a knee injury. And TJ Watt, he's on the injury reserve. He's going to be out 6 weeks with a torn pec. Patriots have some questionable players. Mac Jones is questionable. Trent Brown is questionable. Pierre Strong is questionable. And Ty Montgomery, the wide receiver, he's on the IR. So Patriots of course, have a lot more players who are questionable or injured than the Steelers do. However, the Steelers have TJ Watt, the best. I mean, last year, won Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, if you want to argue he's the best defensive player, that's up to you. But still, obviously our best defensive player on the team, our best player overall, and one of the best players in the NFL in general. The spread, +2. Steelers, -2 for the Patriots. So the Patriots are actually the favor in this game. I don't know. I really don't know why they're favoring. I mean, we do not have much luck against the Patriots. Every time we played the Patriots, now, granted, that was when they had Tom Brady, but we really never had good luck with the Patriots. I remember the one year we beat the Patriots. I don't even think we had Big Ben. That was a couple years ago. We ended up beating them in Pittsburgh, but we didn't even have Big Ben. But that was the year. I think that was Tom Brady's last year also. But looking at defense now, before we wrap up the video, I know this one was a bit sloppy. I apologize. This preview was a bit sloppy. I'll get it better. I had to try it out. But Steelers defense wins again. I mean, I keep praising that defense. Last week, Nick Fitzpatrick won AFC Defensive Player of the Week. He had 14 total tackles, a pass deflection, a touchdown, an interception, and a blocked PAT. Miles Jack, 10 total tackles. Alex Highsmith with 3 sacks. TJ Watt had a sack and an interception. Of course, he's out though. Witherspoon had an interception as well. So our defense really, of course, had a great game. Cam Sutton also had an interception. We also had a fumble recovery on defense. So, like I said, defense, nothing to worry about. Chris Boswell went 3 for 4. Of course, winning us the game field goal. He has a lot of winning game field goals for us. He bails us out a lot of games. Looking at the Patriots defense, they had no interceptions, but Juwan Bentley, he had 7 total tackles and a sack. Matthew Judon had a sack as well, and then so did LiQWYD Jr. He also had a sack. A lot of QB hits though for Matthew Judon, so he had a sack and then 4 QB hits. So he of course had a big day, but like I said, they're gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a defensive game. I really feel like I could see both teams not scoring, past 20. So I'm saying the score like 18-16 type score, or 17-14 type score. I'll be surprised if either team gets past 20. We'll be surprised. But anyway, that was the preview for this week. Steelers versus Patriots. I gotta get better at it. My apologies. My first ever preview. So I apologize. We'll get better at it though. We're learning. First ever preview. Hope you guys enjoyed though. Let me know what you guys think. Steelers or Patriots. Who's gonna win this game? What are you looking for? I'm out, guys. Peace.